ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, my dear devotees, I welcome you to today's speaking on Varnasrama Dharma session. Today is March 30th, 2025, and we are covering the talk on Srila Prabhupada's morning walk in Vrindavana on March 12th, 1974. So it is a Varnasrama walk, and the title of this morning walk is Varnasrama to Save a Troubled World. So yesterday we covered a part of this discussion, which was that every ISKCON center should be a Varnasrama college. That was the topic. So we started off the discussion. Actually, Srila Prabhupada said how the citizens are embarrassed because of being exploited by the leaders. There is no sufficient food because there is no sufficient rain. And on the other hand, there is heavy taxation by the government. In such an awkward situation, the citizens are leaving home and going to the forest. This is a very pitiful condition. And what is the only solution? Unless they take to Krishna consciousness, they cannot be saved. They will not be saved. So Srila Prabhupada's instruction is the Varnasrama college has to be established immediately. And what is the purpose of Varnasrama college? Wherever we have an ISKCON center throughout the world, every ISKCON center should have a Varnasrama college. Like how we have in every ISKCON center, most of the ISKCON centers, you have a Govinda's restaurant because it's a need. When visitors come there, devotees, pilgrims, visitors come to the temple, they need some prasadam. So therefore, a Govinda's restaurant is seen almost in all temples. So like that, Srila Prabhupada's instruction was every ISKCON center should have a Varnasrama college. And what is the purpose of this Varnasrama college? So that these 4 divisions of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra can be trained. There has to be a training. And then based on this training, now the society will be divided into 4 divisions, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But then people may get a question that what is this? This is a caste system. You are dividing people based on their caste. That means you're showing, you're discriminating between who is high and who is low. Is that the case here? No, Srila Prabhupada is saying everyone will be elevated to the spiritual platform by their spiritual activities. That is why Varnasrama college is for a Daiva Varnasrama society. Are you able to hear me? Because I see my video is paused.
Yes, Mataji, I can hear.
You are hearing. Okay, good. So, one second. Okay. Yeah, you're hearing me. Okay. Thank you. So, Srila Prabhupada, so let's continue from there. Kalpesh Prabhu is said he will present on his research on cow protection. So within Vaishya Dharma, you have agriculture, Krishi, Goraksha, Vanijam. Agriculture, cow protection, and trade. Trade means whatever excess you have produced that can be traded. So this is a Vaishya's Dharma. So Prabhuji said he has done some research on cow protection. But yesterday you said 15 minutes, Prabhuji. So I was planned for that after we do today's session, towards the end, I will give you 15 minutes to make your presentation. So that was what was in my mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe you can do in, 2 parts. You do part of it today and part of it in the next session, like that.
Sure, Mataji.
Yeah. So let us continue now where we left off yesterday. So all of you can take turns reading. So everyone will be elevated to the spiritual platform by spiritual activities which we have prescribed. There is no inconvenience even for Shudras. It's not that you may not imagine. That is why in our session yesterday, if you remember, we discussed, let me even share the screen with you. I showed you this diagram and we discussed how, so this is our Daiva Varnasrama society. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger. This is the Daiva Varnasrama society. So here also you have Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. This is an impersonal Vaishnava Varnashrama society. Here also you have Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. This is a Karmi Varnashrama society. Here also you will have Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And then you have the Vikarmis here. Vikarmis means those who are not following their duties as per the Shastra. But there also you will find, you don't call them Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Like nowadays, some people say that, what is this nonsense? Why you're introducing this caste system once again? What is this crap? Like that. People are, expressing their, like we have made so much advancement in this modern society. Why you're talking about caste system? Actually, this caste system is natural. You cannot take it out because it is there in the swabhava, in the nature. Some people are naturally, they have this inclination to make money. They will look for whatever you show them, they will see how I can multiply this, how I can make more money. These are Vaishyas. They have that swabhava of Vaishyas. You may not call them a Vaishya. They may not be living their lifestyle according to the... So there are two things here. One is your guna and the other is karma. What does Krishna say? Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashaha. So these four are divided based on guna and karma. Guna is already there with all of us. We all have the guna. Whether we are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, that swabhava, that guna, that quality is there in everyone. So you cannot remove that. Whichever society you go, they will all have this guna. Some a certain percentage of the population will have the guna of brahmana, another population will have the guna of kshatriya, someone else will have vaishya, someone else will have shudra. But then what is the second part? Karma, guna karma. So that karma that they do has to be done according to the prescription, according to the injunctions given in Shastra. Then, if you do work according to the injunctions given in Shastra, you will come to the mode of goodness, whichever guna you may be having. By adhering to the injunctions of the Vedas, if you do your particular karma as per your guna, that will elevate you to the platform of goodness. That means it will elevate you to the platform of uh, the soul. Instead of being on the platform of the body, you will come to the platform of the soul. So, my point is, even though you may be a vikarmi, right, you don't fall in the other three varnas. So, when I say karmi varnasrama, impersonal varnasrama, or daiva varnasrama, these three are all following, they're doing their karma according to Vedic injunctions. Okay, all three of them are doing their karma according to Vedic injunctions, then what is the difference? Tell me. All three are following their duties. So they have their guna and karma also they are doing according to Vedic injunction. Then on what basis? Actually, there's one more. There's four here. On what basis are we dividing them into four? Why we call this as karmi varnashram? Why this as impersonal varnashram? Why this is daiva varnashram? And why this is regular varnashram? What is the reason? On what basis are we dividing? Yes, Sanskriti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, we are dividing them on the basis of the objective or aim,
Of the
like the aim of the
aim.
varnashram,
Yes,
like for
yes. So what is the aim of a karmi
goal.
varnashram?
The karmi varnashram's aim is material prosperity, material
Okay.
desires.
Next.
And for Deva Varnashram, that is pure devotional service.
Yes.
For impersonal Varnashram, that is the goal is Brahma Prapti, and
Yes.
the regular Varnashram, the goal is Salokya Mukti.
Yes, like that. So you see, all these four are, so when we say guna karma, why these three are in a separate circle here? Because they are following the Vedic injunctions. They are doing their karma according to their guna. But vikarmis, this red one underneath, there also you will have varnashram. That is why you will see in Srila Prabhupada's purports, Prabhupada says, you cannot remove Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. It is natural. Whether you accept it or not, it is natural. It is already existing. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras, they are existing. But you won't be doing your duties as per the Vedic injunctions. So still someone is making money, someone else is producing food, someone else is doing administrative work, and someone else is doing laborer's job. So still there is varnashram there or not? There is. But their work, what type of work will the laborers do? They will be helping in, constructing big buildings, let's say, for example, like that. Someone else is doing a teacher's job, right? You can say he's a brahmana, but what is that person teaching? Teaching some physics or, something which is based on the material scientists' inventions. They're teaching that. So they have that proclivity to teach, but what they're teaching, and also it's mixed, really. You don't find like pure brahmana, pure kshatriya also you don't find in this vikarmis, because actually everyone is a shudra. Everyone is employed and they're taking salary from someone else. Strictly speaking, except for shudras, even shudras, it's not like they're paid salary. They're maintained by the master. Exchange of services. They work for the master and the master maintains them. So, okay, you can say Shudra. When you work for someone and they pay you for that work, that is a Shudra. So strictly speaking, everyone is a Shudra in terms of work. But even there, it is not that faithfulness is not there in the servant towards the master. If I find another master who's paying me more, he will leave this master, he'll go to someone else. So really speaking, that's why it's all mixed up, jumbled up. Nevertheless, you cannot say that artificially we are imposing this caste system. Nobody is imposing anything artificially, it is already there. It is there in everyone. Caste is there. That Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Swabhava is there in everyone. That is the point. That is why here also in Vikarma is also there is a Varnashram, you can say. But that Varnashram is called Asuri Varnashram. So this is the fifth one. Asuri Varnashram. Actually, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave us three. He gave us Karmi Varnashram, Impersonal Varnashram, and regular Daiva Varnashram. These are the main. But also you can find this regular Varnashram is there, like the traditional, those who follow the Varnashrama system, that is there in Vedic society, right? But their goal is not pure devotional service. They are interested in prosperity. They want to live comfortably but not in material prosperity. They're worshipping the Lord, they're offering everything to Lord Vishnu, but they want a long life, eternal life, and prosperity. That is why they get life in Vaikuntha. Okay. So, like that. So, we are talking here about the Daiva Varnashram. Srila Prabhupada is saying, you must have, every center should have a Varnashrama college where you will train Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. You may not consider that Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra means now, someone is superior, someone is inferior. Why will a Shudra want to be a Shudra? This will come always, right? They wouldn't want, why should I be a Shudra? Because this is the material platform. In the material platform, everyone wants to be better than the other. I want to be the topmost. This is there in the material platform. Spiritual platform is a whole different platform. Spiritual platform, everyone wants to be a devotional platform. I want to be a servant of the servant of the servant. But with material consciousness, I want to be the manager of everyone else. You're working hard so that you can go higher and higher and higher. This is material consciousness, not spiritual consciousness. So when you're on the material platform, you will consider a Shudra is low. I have to be higher. I have to become a brahmana, right? So even in devotional life, that will creep in because we still have material conditioning. So even after coming to devotional life, we think, oh, now I should become a pujari. I should become a brahmana because a brahmana is good. Brahmana is better, is higher. What is Srila Prabhupada saying about brahmana? Because I have got a sacred thread, now I am a brahmana. No, this is not required. Same thing about sannyasi, Srila Prabhupada is saying. You don't simply don't give sannyas to Shudras. Shudras, first of all, you have to train. And training should be given based on your guna. And after that training is given, then you give them that, you give them means now they will execute that whatever training they got, now they will live their life by that lifestyle. Whatever skills they have learned, now they will live according to that. That is their occupation as a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And then one who is a Brahmana, he can take sannyas. Brahmana means, again, as I told you yesterday, if you remember, there are 4 ashrams in a person's life. Yes, you remember? 4 ashrams in a person's life. So there are 4 varnas. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra are the 4 varnas. Within each varna, each person will have four ashrams. But does everyone have all 4 ashrams? No. Only Brahmana has 4 ashrams. Brahmana will go through Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. And also it's not essential that all Brahmanas should go through Grihastha and Vanaprastha. From Brahmachari, he can directly become a sannyasi. Yes? Or otherwise, from Brahmachari, Upakurvana Brahmachari, he becomes a Grihastha. Then he takes to Vanaprastha. And finally, he takes sannyas. For Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, there is no sannyas recommended. Some Kshatriyas may take sannyas, but actually for Kshatriyas in general, 3 ashrams only. Brahmachari, Grihastha and Vanaprastha. We will see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, so many kings, all the kings practically, Prithu Maharaj, and they all left home at a certain stage, right? They leave home and they go take Vanaprastha, right? So Vanaprastha is there for Kshatriyas, but sannyasi you don't see. You don't see that Kshatriyas are taking sannyas. Sannyas is meant only for brahmanas. And what about Vaishyas? Vaishyas have brahmacharya. They are also dvija, right? Brahmacharya and then grihastha. That's all. There's no vanaprastha also for Vaishyas. Brahmacharya and grihastha. That's all. And when you come to Shudras, there is no brahmacharya also. There is no going to Gurukul and studying. Only one ashram, grihastha, throughout their life. This is the system. So if somebody has a Shudra's nature, guna, swabhava, then should you give that person sannyas? No. Srila Prabhupada said no. If someone is a Shudra, should not be given sannyas. Now, does that mean you're demeaning Shudras? They are less? No. Everyone can come to the spiritual platform. From Shudra, you can come directly to the spiritual platform by doing your particular duty. From Brahmana, you can come to spiritual platform. Brahmana in any ashram, you can come. Brahmachari ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha, Sannyas ashram, from any ashram, you can come to the spiritual platform. There is no obstacle for coming to the spiritual platform. Main thing is you have to be situated in the system, in the varnashram system, be situated. And then based on that, now you come to the next platform. I mean, from that you come to the spiritual platform. So let's start reading now where we stopped yesterday. So we'll start from here. Anyone would like to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, shall I?
Yes, Mataji. From Jagadish, start from here.
Jagadisha, Srila Prabhupada in Varnasrama society is Prabhupada. Yeah. Jagadisha.
In a Varnasrama society, are most of the citizens Shudras? Question mark. We're not able to hear you, Mataji.
No, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, now I can hear.
Jagadisha. Are the majority of citizens Shudras in Varnasrama society? Prabhupada, yes. The number of Shudras are always bigger. Just like in university education, the number of graduates and postgraduates, they are less. Others are bigger. Bhagavan, the whole idea is that at the end of everyone's life, everyone is required to leave home, perform devotional activities, but not necessarily take sannyasa. Prabhupada, devotional activities either he leaves from the home or not leaves. That does not matter. It must continue from the very beginning. For the management of the affairs, we require to divide because there are different classes of brain. So those who have very intellectual brain, they should become brahmanas. Those who are fit for management and protection, they should be trained as kshatriya. And those who are fit for producing food, taking care of the cows, they should be trained as vaishya. And the balance, they are shudras. This is the division. Everywhere you will find this division natural. One class of men very intelligent, one class of men very strong, good brain for management, administration. I said Jaya. One class of men fit for tilling the ground field and produce food, take care of the cows and the balance. Shudra. That's all. So in our society, this division should be there. The most intelligent class of men, they should be engaged in preaching, reading books and instructing, taking care of deity worship, temple, and another class should be strong managers, that things are going on nicely. Everyone is engaged, not that eating and sleeping. Everyone must be engaged, employed.
Yes,
If
Mataji. One second, Mataji. So we'll continue from there. Let me just cover this part. Let's start from there. Okay. So the question is, 1 second here, Priyanka Mataji had asked a question. So Mataji's question is all kids will go to the Gurukul? Only by their nature can we find out if one is a Kshatriya or Shudra. Yes. It's just like when you want to, you have students who completed their 12th grade. And now you want to go to some professional college. So first there will be a common entrance exam, right? You have an entrance exam. Then based on your marks, then they decide. Let's say you want to go to the medical field. You have studied biological sciences and you want to enter the medical college. So the topmost students are selected to go to the medical college. Those who are below that, the next, they are selected to go to the dental college. And after that, those who are not qualified for that, also the next rank, they are sent to the veterinary college or to the horticulture, agriculture, like that. So similarly, here also first all students are welcome because it is not by birth. Remember, it is not by birth. It's not that by birth you are saying, oh, this is the son of a brahmana, so we will take him, we will train him as a brahmana. Even if he is a son of a brahmana, and chances, there are good chances that he will be a brahmana because he's the son of a brahmana, and if they're actually living by the standards of a brahmana, there's a good chance that he might be. But still testing has to be done. Just because you're the son of a high court judge or the son of a doctor, there's a good chance that you got proper training from your father, but still you will be tested. So similarly, even if you are a son of a brahmana or kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, testing will be there for all kids. And whoever passes the test, that is why the guru is trained. The guru can identify. And when he sees that, yes, these are the students, like here we read in this, Srila Prabhupada is saying, you see that those who are very intelligent, and intelligent meaning, they are very sharp in grasping Shastra, they can teach Shastra, they're very clean and punctual, right? Dedicated, they can do deity worship. These are the activities of Brahmanas. So the teacher can recognize this nature, this guna in the student, and based on that, the teacher will give training. So if one does not pass that test, so the remaining, those who have passed the Brahmana test, they'll be selected for the Brahmana teaching, Brahmana education, and the remaining will now go through the Kshatriya testing. So in Kshatriya testing, whoever passes in chivalry and in fearlessness and, all the qualities, so the teacher will identify. Those who pass the Kshatriya test, they will be chosen for Kshatriya training. The remaining will be sent to the Vaishya training. And there also there will be testing. And those who pass, they will be sent to Vaishya class. And those who are Shudras, they will be trained as Shudras according to their aptitude. Right? There are various occupational duties for Shudras. So this is how the Guru will decide who will be a Shudra, Kshatriya, like that. Chinmay Mataji is asking, Shudras only one ashram, so they don't need to go to Gurukul. Yes, Mataji. So they don't need to go to Gurukul, but for you to know, maybe he's born in a Shudra family, but he can be, who has that nature of a Brahmana. So there's no harm in sending everyone, especially if you're talking about current situation, who is Shudra, who is Brahmana, who is Kshatriya. So everyone will be sent to Gurukul, and there the teacher will test. And based on the testing, if he's found as a Shudra, so now what we have, the plan is Varnasrama college. So those who are small children, under 7 years of age, they're all sent to Gurukula. And in Gurukula, the teacher will identify and he will train them accordingly. But those who are grown up means after 12, 13 years. That's all. So now the boys, they will go to Varnasrama college. And in Varnasrama college, they will be trained as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and even for Shudras also, various skills that they need for a community, they will be trained in that, in the Varnasrama college. So like that, okay? So let's continue. So here we read that, what was the question? Most of the citizens are Shudras in a society? Yes, most of the citizens are Shudras. Just like you see in a classroom, Most of them are students or most of them are teachers. Teacher is few, one or two. Students will be many. So similarly, brahmanas are teachers. So brahmanas will be few. And also Srila Prabhupada is saying, like graduate number of undergrad students, you will see classrooms, there will be more. If you go to postgraduate classroom, hardly a handful. You will have like a few of them. When you go to master's level or PhD level students, you'll have like each year PhD students, you'll have a few. But same year when you go to undergrad classroom, you'll have 100, 150 students also, undergrad classrooms. So that's why the number of Shudras is more, number of Brahmanas will be less, higher classes will be less. So now Bhagavan is saying the whole idea is that at the end of everyone's life, everyone is required to leave home, perform devotional activities, but not necessarily take sannyas. Yes. So this discussion had started with, can we give sannyas to Shudras? Prabhupada is saying no. So there is no need to take sannyas, right? You don't have to take sannyas. Your idea is to come to the platform, to come to the spiritual platform. If that is possible by doing your duty as a Shudra, what is the need for you to take sannyas or to become a Brahmana? It's not required. By doing your particular occupational duty, if you are able to realize that you are a servant of the Supreme Lord, then what is the need of taking sannyas? That is the point. There's no need. Devotional activity should continue even when you're doing your duties in this world as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. Even at that time, you should be doing your devotional activities. Devotion, our whole idea of doing these duties is, okay, let me ask you, you tell me, why are we, if the goal is to do devotional activities, why are we even being asked to do these activities? Because this is a bodily platform. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra is a bodily platform, isn't it? So why are these activities being recommended? Would anyone like to answer? Or everyone can give your opinion. Why we are even being asked to work? Why Srila Prabhupada is saying there should be training. Someone should be, your nature should be identified and then you should act as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Why? If the goal is to come to devotional platform, can't we just directly take to chanting and devotional activities? Why should we even, act as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? Anyone would like to say? Yes, Kalpesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Please accept
So,
my obeisance.
Mataji, my thing is coming from Shastras only, the answer, what you asked. In 18.45, Lord Krishna himself says, by following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. So now please hear.
Every man can become
Perfect.
perfect. Yes. Okay.
That is.
But Prabhuji, if I'm chanting Hare Krishna, can I not become like, do I need to follow my
Yeah,
varna?
that's
I
a
can
good
still do
question.
chanting, right?
I know from my point of view, I can say that so in order to make chant, you have to follow the regulative principles, and without the regulative principle, you cannot be, because your association is very strong. You're fighting against Maya, so which means you have to follow the regulative principle, which will keep you in sattva guna, and with that sattva guna, it becomes more favorable to do according to your bodily nature. But yeah, we can say that if I'm not programmed for that by nature, sattva guna, how can I do sattva guna? That part I don't know, but at least I think the following the regulative principle will take you for trying for chanting more and also going forward for pure devotion. That's my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay. Thank you. So you're saying by following the regulative principles, it brings us to sattva guna. And by being in sattva guna, it is favorable to chant, you're saying, right?
Yes, offenseless chanting. Yes.
Offenseless chanting, it's possible when you're in sattva guna, you're saying. So otherwise, that means in our present situation, we will not be able to do only devotional service all the time, you're saying. right?
Yeah, Mataji, because the regulative principle has a meaning. Otherwise, everybody can not need to learn anything. They can only chant, right? Because if we have to do something in this world to, because we are associating with so many other things, right? With people and other things. So we have to form, you act according to our swadharma nidhanam, and at the same time practice the regulative principle, because that will help for devotion. That's my, because if I don't practice cleanliness, I will not feel comfortable of chanting. Like, as an example, like, I mean, I will be smelling my own body, and because I am in bodily consciousness, right? So many things like that. If I
That is
eat
the
wrong
answer.
food.
Bodily consciousness. That is the answer. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Because we are in the bodily consciousness, we are acting on the platform of the body. Now that has to be regulated. You have come very close to the answer. That has to be regulated. So when you are on the bodily consciousness, I'll take Sanskriti Mataji's also. Or I'll just cover this and then I'll go to. So because you're on the bodily consciousness, you're identifying yourself as this body. You means all of us, actually. We are identifying ourselves with this body. So then we will be doing activities related to the body. This is my family, this is my country, this is my job. I have to do like this, I have to do like that, right? So we will act on the platform of the body when we are on the bodily consciousness. Now, those actions, this also you touched upon. If those actions are in the mode of passion and ignorance, that action will keep us on the bodily platform. It will not allow us to rise above the bodily platform. So because we are already on the bodily platform, meaning identifying ourselves with this body, I'm identifying myself with this body. Now, my problem is I have to rise above this bodily platform. Because Jivera Swarupohai Krishnera Nityadas, my identity is I am a servant of Krishna. When I'm convinced of this, that's when I will be able to do direct devotional service to Krishna, chanting Krishna's names all the time. But if I'm identifying myself with this body, I will feel, oh, I have to take care of my family also. I have to take care of my job also. I'm a citizen of this country. I have to follow the law of this country, and so on and so forth. Everything related to the body. That means there will be space in my heart for things other than Krishna. I'm not identifying myself only as a servant of Krishna. Rather, I'm identifying myself as a servant, or as a husband, as a wife, as a child, or as a citizen of this country, so on and so forth, belonging to this company. I'm a software engineer, or I'm a teacher, I'm a lawyer. There's space for all these things in my heart. Then we cannot do only devotional service, which is the actual position of the spirit soul. The constitutional position of the spirit soul is to do only devotional service all the time. But because I'm identifying with the body, I'm not able to do that. So for me to come out of this identification, I have to be in the mode of goodness. If I'm in the mode of passion and ignorance, that will keep me on the bodily platform. So these duties that are said, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra duties, these duties will bring me out of the bodily platform if I do those duties as prescribed. So Prabhuji quoted 18th chapter Bhagavad Gita. So there Krishna says that work is in the mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. What is work in the mode of goodness? Sanskriti Mataji, go ahead. You wanted to say in answer to that? Sanskriti Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, shall I answer or leave it?
Yeah.
Can I answer?
Yes.
Okay, Mataji, what I think that why do we need to follow this varnashram? Because we have from various past lives, we have the pravriti of doing karma. For pure devotees, there is no need to do any karma because with doing the Naveda Bhakti, they can get liberation. But for us who are have the pravriti of doing karma from various past lives, So we have to do karma, because the people who are engaged in their varnashram system, they are actually the karma mishra bhaktas. So if they don't follow the karma, and so there will be some disintegration in the society, because even Yudhishthir Maharaj, like the five Pandavas, they are pure devotees, but still they are performing their duty as the Kshatriyas to establish the ideal as Kshatriyas, the work of Kshatriyas, the people who cannot do pure devotional service, at least with the help of this Varnasrama and doing devotional activities, they can get into the position of Vishuddha Sattva.
Yes, yes, thank you. So Mataji is saying about pravritti. We all have this pravritti for doing karma. Basically, that is our identification with the body. We get a svabhava. That is also said in the 18th chapter. Every one of us is under the influence of the modes, sattva, rajas, tamas, in a different proportion. So we are coming with a particular svabhava. You have a pravritti to do a particular type of work. That is there. That cannot be changed. In this body, by material activity, that's not changed. That pravritti is there. Of course, by training, sometimes it can be, right? By training, one can be trained. But it is very difficult. It's not easy. Everyone has a natural tendency to do a certain type of work. So Mataji is saying, if you have this pravritti, again it comes to the same thing. You have this pravritti means you're identifying with this body. When you're identifying with this body, identifying yourself as either, when you're identifying with this body, you have to do karma. You will not be able to do only Shuddha Bhakti. You will not be able to do direct devotional service all the time. For you to do direct devotional service all the time, you will need, what do we need to do Shuddha Bhakti? What do we need to do Shuddha Bhakti?
Shraddha.
Shraddha. You need Shraddha. So until you get that Dhrida Shraddha, you have to do your duty. So the bottom line is your work has to be in the mode of goodness. When the work is, and one more, I'll just tell you, what are the, let me just share I'll just write it here for you. So, okay. Just add another page here. Okay. Okay. So I said work in the mode of goodness, right? Work in sattva guna. What are the things needed, or what happens when, what is work in the mode of sattva guna? First is, so now you have your duties as brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. Okay, you have work like this. You have duties prescribed, right? There are prescribed duties for each of these. And not only varnas, even for asramas, you have brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasi. You have duties that are prescribed for each of them. Now, the quality of work is important. What is the quality of work? That is important. How should this work be done? Because even in karmi varnasrama and impersonal varnasrama, they are also doing work. Regular varnasrama, they are also doing their brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra duties. But what happens when you do, what is the goal of Daiva Varnashrama? Goal of Daiva Varnashrama is pure devotional service. So our question is, okay, I'll just write here. goal of Daiva Varnasrama Dharma is pure devotional service. Okay? The goal of Daiva Varnasrama is pure devotional service. Dhrida Shraddha is the entry door to pure devotional service. Dhrida Shraddha is the entry door. That means when you get Dhrida Shraddha, then you can start pure devotional service. But we are saying how this Daiva Varnashrama Dharma is going to lead to pure devotional service. How by doing Daiva Varnashrama Dharma? That means following your Dharma as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, how that is going to bring us to pure devotional service. That's what I'm going to show you. Why we have to follow Dharma of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. That's what I'm explaining. Daiva Varnashrama Dharma means you're following your duties here, and that by following your duties, the goal is to come to pure devotional service. So, in order to do pure devotional service, what is the entry door? What is the beginning? Dhrida Shraddha. Dhrida Shraddha means conviction in Dhrida Shraddha means conviction in the conclusions of the Shastra. Okay, I can say that also here. Dhrida Shraddha means, definition of Dhrida Shraddha is Shastrartha Vishwasaha. Shastrartha Vishwasaha means Shastra Artha means conclusion of Shastra. Vishwasaha means conviction. Conviction in the conclusion of Shastra. What is the conclusion of Shastra? What is the conclusion of Shastra? One who surrenders, conclusion of Shastra is
Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is it
yes,
that what?
yes.
And
One who surrenders to Krishna become fearless.
Mataji? Priyanka Mataji.
One
Go
who
ahead.
surrenders to Krishna becomes fearless.
Yes, that's the conclusion. One who surrenders to Krishna becomes fearless. This is the conclusion. One who surrenders to Krishna becomes fearless, and one who does not surrender remains fearful. One who does not surrender remains fearful. So then what is the conclusion? Who does not want to become fearless? So the conclusion is surrender to Krishna. That is the conclusion. Surrender to Krishna. So therefore, Shastrartha Vishwasaha, Dhrida Shraddha means Shastrartha Vishwasaha. I'm showing the link between following Varnashrama and coming to pure devotional service. So Dhrida Shraddha is the entry door. When you get Dhrida Shraddha, that's when you can do pure devotional service. This Dhrida Shraddha means Shastrartha Vishwasaha. Shastrartha Vishwasaha means conclusion, conviction in the conclusion of Shastra. What is the conclusion of Shastra? One who surrenders to the Supreme Lord becomes fearless. One who surrenders to the Supreme Lord becomes fearless. This is the conclusion of Shastra. That means everyone wants to be fearless. So Shastra is saying surrender to Krishna. When we believe in this, when we actually are convinced that I must surrender to Krishna, then I will become, and so naturally it will translate to you will surrender. So symptom of Dhrida Shraddha is, if you actually got Dhrida Shraddha, what is the symptom? Symptom of Dhrida Shraddha is what? Surrender to Krishna. That is the symptom. So when someone gets Dhrida Shraddha, he surrenders to Krishna. So what does he do when he surrenders to Krishna? He will be doing 20, or at least he will be endeavoring to do 24/7 direct devotional service. What is direct devotional service? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. 64 limbs of bhakti. That's all he will be endeavoring to do constantly. Direct devotional service. And this devotional service will not be interrupted by any type of karma. That means there is no bodily identification also. It's understood. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam. You don't identify because your devotional service is not interrupted by any karma, means karma, jnana, etc. means no bodily identification. You will not feel that, oh, I have to pay my bills also, I have to do this also. That worry will not be there. If you are, because you will believe that ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. If I do simply devotional service, Krishna assures he will take care of me. I don't have to worry about where I will get my food, how I will be maintained. That is his concern. How he will take care of me, that is his concern. It is not my concern. With that confidence, he will be simply doing direct devotional service. Okay. So now coming back to, we need Dhrida Shraddha. So how following Daiva Varnasrama Dharma will bring us to Dhrida Shraddha? That's the point here. So Daiva Varnasrama Dharma, when you do, there is a quality of work. What is that quality of work? You must do your duties without expectation of result. That means whether there is profit or loss, victory or defeat, happiness or distress, it does not matter. Tolerating all these dualities, you must continue doing your particular prescribed duty as a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. That duty may sometimes give you pain, it may sometimes give you difficulty. It may sometimes bring you fame, sometimes infamy. Sometimes people are praising you, sometimes they're blaspheming you, neglecting you, ignoring you, so many things. So whether it is happiness, distress, profit, loss, victory or defeat, it does not matter. You must stick to your duty. This is work in the mode of goodness. This is how duties must be performed. Second, do your duty tolerating all the dualities. Yes. And then after you do your duty, after doing your duty, whatever result you get, because even though you're not expecting the result is going to come anyway. Material result will come, isn't it? You do some duty, result will come. Whatever result you get, don't claim to be the doer of, actually wait, this is another one. Whatever result you get, you offer that result to the Lord. Okay? Offer all that result to the Lord. Offer the result to the Lord. You don't take it. Offer the result to the Lord. Whether it is wealth, name, anything, whatever result, good, bad, everything, just offer it all to the Lord. That means this implies that you don't claim to be the doer of that work. You don't claim to be the doer of that work. So that is the thing. Okay. You must do your duties, tolerating all dualities. After doing the duty, whatever result comes, you offer it to the Lord. And you don't claim to be the doer. I did it. Copyrights, right? This is mine. No need. If you work in this consciousness, that means in essence, You give up the doership. You give up the doership. Give up doership, right? That I did it. And also you give up the results. So when you say doership, that means there's attachment, right? So you have to give up attachment to the results while you're working. And after the results come also, you give up the results, you give it to the Lord. And you don't claim. Sometimes you don't want the result, but you want the name, right? I did it. The result you take, but the name has to be there. So that doership also you have to give up. With this consciousness, when someone does his work, what will happen? When someone does work with this consciousness, what will happen is you will come to the mode of goodness, sattva guna. One comes to the mode of goodness. If you do work in this consciousness, you come to the mode of goodness. Now, what is the symptom of the mode of goodness? Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. Sattva guna produces jnanam. Sattva guna, sattvat, this is also from Bhagavad Gita. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. That means when you're in sattva guna, it produces knowledge. What is that knowledge? I am not this body. I'm not this body. That knowledge is produced. Okay? So that is one result. So when you're not this body, you're a spirit soul. So from there, coming to the platform of I am a devotee of the Lord, it becomes easy in the association of devotees. If you're in the association of devotees and you are on the platform that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul, to get faith, to get conviction that I'm a servant of Krishna, that happens very easily. It happens very easily because you're in the association of devotees, you're hearing from Shastras. Now you're in the mode of goodness. So mode of goodness brings you to the platform of the spirit soul. So from that platform to come to the platform of a devotee is easy when you're in the association of devotees. So mode of goodness is congenial, conducive to devotional service. So that's what Kalpesh Prabhu said. I'm just opening up inside what is there. How mode of goodness is favorable to devotional service. There's one more angle to this with this mode of goodness. What happens when you're in mode of goodness is, so this is one, right? One advantage of mode of goodness. The second advantage of mode of goodness is you will be able to understand, grasp, right? You will be able to grasp Shastra as it is. So you're hearing the messages from Shastra. When you're in the mode of goodness, you'll be able to accept the message as it is. You will not be, your intelligence will not be fighting, debating against what you're hearing from Shastra. When Shastra says Krishna is the supreme, you will be able to accept it. Yes, Krishna is the supreme. You are a servant of Krishna. You'll say, yes, I'm a servant of Krishna. But if you're in the mode of passion and ignorance, your mind will say, why only Krishna is the supreme? Why not Jesus Christ? Or why not Lord Shiva? Or why not Goddess Durga? Why I have to be a servant? Why I am not equal? So many things will come in your mind when you're in the modes of passion and ignorance. You won't be able to accept the statements that are given in Shastra. You won't be able to accept when you're in the modes of passion and ignorance. You'll have so many doubts in your heart. That's the thing. So therefore, coming to the mode of goodness is essential. So by doing your duties as brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, and how you should do your duties? Do your duties in this consciousness, giving up doership and giving up attachment to the results and offering the results to the Lord. That is important. Quality of work is important. Simply doing work is not all. You do the work and you do the work in this consciousness. then the result of that will be you will come to the platform of soul. Simply by doing your work, you'll come to the platform of soul. And also you will be able to, when you're in Daiva Varnashram, your aspiration is to become pure devotees. So when you're hearing in the association of devotees, you're hearing Bhakti Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, you're hearing, you'll be able to accept the message as it is. So therefore, our work has to be in line with the injunctions of Shastra. You do simplified work. So what type of work we should do? This is a scientific system, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So therefore, if you understand it properly, there won't be any argument. Nobody is advocating caste system to put down someone else and wanting to take a higher position and exploit others. That's not the system. That did happen though in the Karmi Varnasrama and in impersonal Varnasrama. Those things may have happened. They have happened actually, not may have happened. When the brahmanas, like yesterday Sanskriti Mataji said, right, they take the monopoly and only the brahmanas are the chosen ones. They don't share this knowledge of the scripture with the rest of the society and exploit the lower varnas. This is completely on the material platform. Why? Why did they do that? Because their goal is material prosperity. They want that position as the lords and being worshipped by everyone else. So that is completely on the material platform. Their goal is material prosperity. In Daiva Varnashram society, that opportunity will not be there because the goal is pure devotional service. Srila Prabhupada says also, there's a short video. I think I shared it in the past. I can share again. Srila Prabhupada said in the past, everyone respected in a society, originally, when there is Varnashrama system, you had respectable titles for Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras also. Everyone is, Shudras had the title Chaudhary. Chaudhary means leader. Nobody was looked down upon, oh, you're insignificant. No, everyone was respected, everyone was honored. Each person has his particular duty. By doing his particular duty in that consciousness of giving up doership, giving up attachment to the results and offering all the results to the Lord. With this consciousness, by doing their duty, everyone was being elevated to the transcendental platform. In impersonal Varnashram also, you can come to the transcendental platform. Because there also, in impersonal Varnashrama, you have to do Nishkama Karma Yoga. That means they're working in that consciousness only. So now we can go into further details of this picture. In impersonal Varnashrama, you have to do Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga means what I told you just now. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbur mate sangostva karmani. You have a right to do your duty, but you're not entitled to the fruits of action. And also at the same time, just because I don't get the fruits, then you'll become lazy. No, you have to work diligently. Give up doership, give up the results. Don't be attached to the results. Offer all the results to the Lord. That is there in impersonal Varnashram also. But the goal is they want to go and merge into Brahman. In Daiva Varnashram Dharma, the goal is you want pure devotional service. So here you have the association of pure devotees. And another thing, very important thing, there in impersonal Varnashrama, when you're offering the results of your work as a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, whatever results you're offering to the Lord, you're offering it with detachment because your goal is impersonal Brahman, Brahma Prapti. You want to go and merge into Brahman. So there's no love there. You're not offering it to the Lord with love and affection. You're just offering all the results. But the difference in Daiva Varnashrama is you offer it to the Lord with love. You want a relationship with the Lord. So as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, everyone is doing their duty, and the result of that duty they are offering to the Lord with love. So this is helping them in developing their love. And side by side, they're also doing direct devotional service. They're chanting. All of us are chanting or no? At least for 2 hours a day, we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Some Bhagavad Gita we are reading and hearing. Yes. Some worship we are doing, offering pranams to the Lord. We are cooking and offering to the Lord. You're doing. That means you're doing some direct devotional service also, but you're not doing it throughout the day. The remaining time, whatever work you're doing, that work should not be in the mode of passion and ignorance. Rather, that work should be in the mode of goodness. The advantage is, by doing your work in the mode of goodness, it is working hand in hand with your devotional service. It is helping you. So very soon you will come to Drida Shraddha. Drida Shraddha means I have to surrender to Krishna. Symptom of Drida Shraddha is surrender to Krishna. You will surrender to Krishna very soon. If your work is also in the mode of goodness, when you're chanting and your work throughout your day, all the work that you do, everything is in line with devotional service, it is helping you come. So you may say, why should I even do karma? We discussed in the beginning. Because I'm still on the bodily platform. I'm still identifying myself with this body. I'm still identifying myself with this body. So therefore, I have to do some work related to this body. Do that work according to Shastric injunction. Shastras are saying, do Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This work is natural. It has to be identified. What is your particular guna has to be identified first. Where will that be identified? It will be identified in a Varnasrama college. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is saying, every center should have a Varnasrama college. How clear is this? Is there any questions on this? Is there any discussion on this? Does anyone want, like, you have any objections to this, please? No, right? It's pretty clear. It's working together. So this is the vision. This is the vision. If you see, even in the last days of Srila Prabhupada, when he was, just before ending his, physical pastime on this earth, probably just a couple of days before he left, you will see Srila Prabhupada speaking about, at that time also, he's talking about how it is very important for everyone to come to the mode of goodness, right? You have to come out of the modes of passion and ignorance. For you to come to the mode of goodness, you have to do this work. Do work according to Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Varnasrama college has to be started immediately, Srila Prabhupada said. How seriously that should have, we should have taken it, right? People ask in this material world also, right? When someone is on the deathbed, they ask, what is your last wish? And when they say, they fulfill that last wish so that this person will be happy. Srila Prabhupada, these are the last words that he said, because we are not in the position to render direct devotional service 24 hours now. He's saying for us to come to that platform, this is important. They're not preaching for themselves, they're preaching for us. And majority of us, most of the world is in this position only. We are not qualified, now to talk about bhava bhakti and prema bhakti. That's not our level. We haven't even entered into pure devotional service. We are struggling with the modes of passion and ignorance. What do we need in our position? We need to come to the mode of goodness. So for that, you have to do your duties as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra in the mode of goodness. Important. Otherwise, if you simply get stuck with, I'm a Brahmana, I'm a Kshatriya, I'm a Vaishya, Shudra, if you get stuck with this identification only, you will remain on the material platform. You will be in that karmi varnashram. I'm a Brahmana, you're a Shudra. We don't want that, isn't it? So we can stop here, and I will ask Kalpesh Prabhu to make his presentation now, if nobody has any questions. We didn't read much today, but we will continue. This is a very important section. That's why we have to spend some time on this, the importance of Varnasrama college. Therefore, we are taking some time to discuss it. We will continue this chapter again next Saturday and Sunday. Kalpesh Prabhu, so one more quick point is, when we discuss like this, the idea is, this is like this, we want to form a Varnasrama research team. So first, this is what we are doing here is this is an exposure. We are reading, trying to understand what is the vision of the Acharya. By reading the book speaking about Varnasrama, we are trying to see what is the vision. After understanding this, we will get inspired, and taking inspiration, now each person will take a particular field and do some research in that field, either cow protection or agriculture or kshatriya duties or, whichever field, either out of your own interest or wherever you're able to gather enough material, either way. And after you get that, now you share it with the rest of the group, your findings. So this is the beginning, right? So Prabhuji has already started that. He has done some research on cow protection. He would like to make a presentation. So originally I was under the impression that Prabhuji was going to make for 15 minutes, but today he sent a message. He has a 45-minute presentation. So we can divide it into two parts. He will do part of it today and part of it next Saturday. So yes, Prabhuji, go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji, for this opportunity. Very pleased to say a few words here. I want to say that I'm not totally qualified. I've never practiced farming or anything like that. So my knowledge, which I have, based on what I researched, this is out of compassion and keeping Krishna in perspective. Like if Krishna sees this world from his eyes, how would he see these things? So I'm going to quickly present what I collected, few points and note down here. So focus is on the cow, like what is the reality going in the society, in the current society, regarding the cow, which is considered as a mother in our scriptures. And I'm not going to focus too much on the United States because it's very hard to speak anything on this, to how to do the application and the cruelty part of it. But keeping India in the perspective probably made more sense for me. But then this can apply here too. So first, I would like to say that I think so many of the devotees are seniors and they very well know the scripture references regarding the importance and the types of cows, all those things. So I won't speak much on this, but what our scripture tells that the one which we tell the cows are called the Veda Lakshana cows. So there are Lakshanas given that which is considered. So I have like this one statue in front of me. So this is considered a Surya Kodi Nadi, and then there is a Gal Khambal here. So these are the, and then the ears are this way. So there are certain look, which, and there are importance to it. So this is considered the Veda Lakshana type of cows. So that is what the first priority is, to protect that. Not that, I mean, every cow is important, but this is the most important, which is referred in our scriptures. So that, and the importance mentioned in our scripture regarding the cows. So there are several scriptures which we have here, which has a reference like from either from Atharveda, Rigveda, and then there are 33 Koti Devatas present in the cows itself. Then there are several Puranas which refers this. Then there are Manusmriti, which tells you about the things. Then there are particularly Bhagavad Gita spoken by Lord himself, where he confirms in the 10th chapter that he is Surbi in the cow. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a famous verse where it says, the brahmana and the cows are my own body, and the defenseless creature are my own body. So Krishna himself says that the brahmana and the cows are my own, and the defenseless creature are my own body. So, and then there is a story of the Samudra Manthan. We know the Lord names are called by Govind. He was a Gopalak. He is associated with Gopas, Gopis. He lifted Govardhan Parvat. He was residing in Gokul. His abode is named as Goluka. We have 7 mothers reference. One of them is cow. In Mahabharata Anushashan Parva, there is a mention of Godan, which is the highest donation. Then every Hindu carries a Gotra, which is Goentra, which is again by cow. If we go in the Vrindavan, there are there are 12 like in the Braja. So there is one of the Vana is called Bahulavan in the Nimakacharya Sampradaya. There is the story behind the Bahulavan, about these things. And then the festival we celebrate as a Gopashtami, which is, so this kind of highlights most of the scriptural importance of the cows as well, and there are much to it. With my little knowledge, I was able to know this much at this time. And when Krishna was here, he was his association with the cows were there, and the Vrishabhanu had like number of cows. At that time, the measurement of the wealth was considered based on how many cows we have. So 9 lakhs, I think so. I got the count, and Vrishabhanu has the 10 lakhs cows at that time. According to Manusmriti, there is a land requirement for cow grazing. When Krishna came, and he used to do the Gopalan, and he gave the example. He set the example for others to follow in the Vaishya, in the Varnashram system. So basically, it says in the Manusmriti, and I have listened from the devotee, from one of the ISKCON devotee, it mentions that there is a 70% of land is required for doing the cattle grazing. The cow grazing, cow grazing. So now going into the history part of it, like because of India got several invasions from different rulers, different times. What has happened is our indigenous cow, which is considered as a bovine cow, which is what the way the Lakshana is, and the Western world, which has Bos, Taurus, and the Holstein HF cows. So what has happened is Shankrit cows, means mixed breeding, has happened over the years through several years. So in the current times, we are seeing that even in our in Bharat, we see that there is a lot of mixing of the cows, right? So now going into, like, this is little painful and not very disheartening, I would say, the cruelty which is going in the dairy industry in the current times. So when we see the dairy industry of today's time, we see there are 4 different types of breeds. Different types of. We don't consider cow as an animal, but I'm just saying this. The 4 different types. So one of them is the milk is obtained from either from our desi cow, or it is from buffalo, or it is a mixed breed, which is a Holstein, because it gives more milk, and then the goat. So what does scripture says about this? Then when we consume buffalo milk, basically what I heard from previous saints, that it makes your you stay in the rajasic and tamasic if you drink that consumption. And there are certain symptoms and behavior you can notice on the bullocks and others, when they drink the milk on this. So same, when we drink the milk of cow, it takes you the sattva guna. And then the one which is mixed breed Holstein, it's quite it's not something recommended. But so the question is, like, when we consume some dairy products, either it would be milk or anything to do with milk products, how did Krishna told us to consume this? That's the question which comes into the mind. At the same time, I skipped one point. One of the important point in our scripture is none of the pran pratishtha or yagna or anything gets successfully completed if we don't have the cows. Because the ghee and the panchgavya, all those comes only from the desi cow. So that is also one of and the consumption part of it. Like how do we consume and what do we offer to Lord? But when we look at the cruelty in the current times, it's a little harsh to hear this, but everybody should be aware, and this is just based for making people aware, not to scare anyone here. But this is very hard reality, and this everybody should know and try to preach so that everybody make a conscious choice what they would like to do with this. So first of all, the dairy industry, they it's I purposefully use the word called industry because it's an industry. It's not like seva dharma is not there nowadays. There is no love and there is no relationship with cow. So the right now the buffaloes and the cows which are used, so they are artificially inseminated. Uh, in the Western world, they name it as a rape rack. So basically, um, the bulls are given the shock to um, take out the semens and then they artificially inseminate to produce the new one, calves. So from that, so it's very harsh, which is commonly practiced in India, which is not spoken a lot, but it's there. There are a lot of videos out there. If anybody want to see it, they can see it to educate themselves on this end. Um, then what happens to, because milk can be only produced once um, the cows are pregnant. So what happens to the nar part, the nandi or bull, right? So basically, it directly goes to slaughterhouse or thrown into the street. That's something we have to connect this when we connect. When we'll go to the slaughterhouse, we'll come to that point too. But this is something, is one of the dairy industry is kind of responsible for that. And they make cows to continuously lactate, and to do that lactation they have to be continuously pregnant. That is again a hinsa on the cow, which Krishna did not prescribe in our shastras. So that's something we have to also keep in mind. And what goes into the slaughterhouse is either sent to the street or the slaughterhouse. So when they go to the street they end up into because they are always looking for food. So they either consume plastic. So I came across the case of 71 kg was obtained from the body of the cows, which is very cruel. Then either they are trying to search for food, then they end up into railroad tracks and they end up into the accident. um, they are hit by cars, they end up eating the debris, which may consist of glass particles, batteries, acids, uh, very damaging products to cow bodies. There are vidharmis always around us, and they know that Hindu worship cows, so they try to also do the acid attacks on the both Nandi and this one. So that is also being common practice, and then there are other form of attacks and violence, or either they take it and take it to the slaughterhouse. And sometime there is an arrangement from the dairy industry to directly do the slaughterhouse. Once they cannot do the lactation, they are immediately sent. So there is an economic connection to this. uh, in India there is no law to protect buffaloes, so buffaloes are default sent to slaughterhouse. There are 1 lakh of buffaloes which are killed. um, which is a very huge number. Cows numbers are not easily known because it's very sensitive, but somebody can probably find out that too if they do dive more deeper into it. Um, so buffalo, and then there is a mixing in the milk. We all are aware about the adulteration. Then there is an injection used, at least in the Western world, they use recombined bovine some kind of injections, ST injections, and then there is a growth hormone. There's a research by American Cancer Institute about this, that it can create cancers if we consume this kind of milk. So same practice is being done. In India, mostly I came across the oxytocin has been injected a lot. So now I'm going to tell, because I'm not a Gopalak or anything, but what I learned from the calculation, because I'm by nature, I'm engineer, like with my work itself. So I like to do calculation here. So I came across the gear guy. So gear guy, if we take, its span life is 15 to 20 years. And within that span life, 15 to 20 years, the maximum number of milk production, which is happening right now, could be around 20,000 liters. Technically, the ahimsa part comes when uh, the calves are given the proper milk, because she's lactating for actually for calves, not for us. So, but the God grace is that she produced so much milk that not everything can be consumed. So what the dairy industry is doing, the colostrum, which is the first, which builds the immunity of the next calves, and so that is being not completely provided. That's one of the harm which is happening. So if we do the 67% of the 20,000 liter, it takes around you to 13,000 liters are to be consumed by the Narmada of that cow itself, product. Right. So we are left with only 7,000 liters in her lifespan, which can be sold out in the market. With that milk being sold, it does not cover the economy of the cow coverage for entire life. If she lives for 20 years, there is no pricing right now in the market to sell at that price. Because one of the complaint dairy industry has is, if they want to raise the price of the milk or any products, consumer would withdraw. There will be a chaos in the society, economy could collapse. And this is the big problem, because both so they are forced, they in their mind they are forced either to directly sell to the slaughterhouse, or indirectly they won't be involved in the slaughterhouse, but they will give it to some of the businessman, which in turn buy it at 10,000 rupees, and then he kind of make an arrangement to the Vidharmis, probably the Islamic people, and then they will go to the slaughterhouse eventually. So indirectly, either way, this way or that way, they indirectly end up into slaughterhouse. So that's happening in India. It's a very harsh reality, but it's there. So many people probably doesn't have the idea how the ghee production happens. So if the desi cow has only lesser fat compared to the buffalo which can produce the fat, so it takes around 30 liters to produce 1 liter of desi cow, according to Bilona Paddhati, which is mentioned in the Ayurveda, and the process of making the ghee. So how do we know, like, which is the right one and which is the wrong one? So you have to know your farmer, you have to know the Gopalak, how he treats the cow, and the best way in the current times is check the prices, because the if India sometimes, like, depending on the different part of where you are in India, but it could range from 50 to 70 rupees or something like that. That's not a true price, because with that price they cannot survive. If we take the weight of the cow, approximately it can range from 1,000 to 1,100 pounds, which could be equivalent to 500 kg, and she roughly eats 4% of it, um, food. And what happens to the bull? Uh, Nobody talks about it, because bulls are no use of in today's time. So there is no calculation towards it. But if we consider only for cow, then it requires a 20 kg, or maybe you can range it between 15 to 20 kg, and not having the um, cattle grazing land, which is another point which I am going to highlight in coming points. That there is no enough, so the fodder and mixture has to come from somewhere. and it will price. So just taking jaggery example, barley example, jaggery cost around 40 rupees a kg. And then barley cost different, so when you add up that cost, it doesn't make sense that. And then cow also get disease, and they need to be protected, they need a land, they need a cleanliness, they need to be looked after it. There are people which gets involved, and they drink water. So many activities around cow. It's a full-time job. It's not something you can keep uh, and and do other things. It's very difficult to do both things, so it's a full-time thing, uh, for 8 to 10 hours of work, to keep, for at least set of 10 cows, uh, um, so that's one of the reality. Um, and after British came, they introduced a lot of dairy industries in our society, um, because of their consumption of tea and coffee. So they introduced that too. So this was one of the point which dairy industry also wants, is why it is growing. So previously there was a relationship between cow and the family. That relationship was broken out with farmer. So now it had become an industry, which is just producing a violent milk, a violent product, which is not something Krishna really told us to consume in that manner. So the key point is to, like, we have to um, we have to have a relationship with our farmer where we are taking then its work, and otherwise you can find out the right pricing. But now the pricing in the Amazon, and if you try to order a ghee cow or anything, there are a lot of duplicates. They just do the cosmetic packing, and you may not know the truth. So you have to know where it is coming. You have to know that this cow are treated properly, they are not being killed eventually, because that is the highest sin in our shastras. If we consume and we become the responsible of that, we cannot answer Lord Krishna, like, in the current time, what, like, because Krishnas and cow are very intimate to each other. I mean, they cannot be separated with each other. So it is that relationship, and we offer bhoga. We feel we are not safe in that too. So how do we do that? So now coming to the slaughterhouse, the Indian government sanctions, allows, and provides the license for buffalo, goat, sheep, and pig. There is a sensitivity towards the cow. So we will not. I mean, I will take how the cows are being slaughtered in the our slaughterhouse. So legally, what I know from few years back, the Supreme Court orders around, there is a registered license around 4,600 which are legally allowed to slaughter these animals, um, and then who is doing it and who is owning it. So the Islam scripture allows that they should be killed. So the Qurayshis are the most one who are doing this, and of course there are others too, not just one single one. So there are other religions involved. So Christianity and Islamism do freely allow this to practice. So they don't feel problem to do this because they don't consider the sin, but for Hindus especially. But who are owning this? We are very surprised to know that the owners of these big slaughterhouses are Hindus too, and Jains as well. So it's all of them, all of them are. When we say Hindu, it's not practicing Hindu. They are just titled Hindu because they carry certain surnames and all, but they don't practice any consciousness or anything. So Hindu, Christianism, Islamism, Judaism, all Jainism, all are involved in this too, in the legal aspect too. So uh, now we talk about the illegal slaughterhouses. It is carrying around 36,000 according to Supreme Court, or it sometimes says 30,000. So there are two different numbers I've known from the research, and but I don't believe either of them. I believe that it's very hard to calculate that number. So I would assume at least 3 times higher than what is said here, because it's not true number in any way. So these numbers are way higher. Now, how does slaughterhouse cows are involved, because this is cows cannot, it's not sustainable in the economy right now, way the pricing works. So when we interview the dairy industry, they cannot do it if they want to do it, because they need, when we talk to them, they say, how will we maintain our family, how would we feed them? We cannot feed them with this, we don't have our grazing land, we don't have anything. So their problem is to sell that, and the buyers are doing it, and they are doing illegally. So what happens is, because we don't have a knowledge how to distinguish between buffalo and cow in terms of meat, so it's hard that whatever goes in, nobody is there. There are corruption involved, and there are so many. So cows are getting slaughtered, even though it's not legal in certain states. It's still getting. And I will cover that government related things. Which states are allowing legally, and which states are not allowing it on the state level. But there is no such strong law in the country itself, which is very surprising. Where we are Hindus are practicing and worshipping the Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva or other one. It's very surprising to know the country like us, where this spirituality, and we are considered the gurus for the world. And in this country, this is happening. It's very discouraging in that way. That's why I chosen to first talk about the India, not because United States, when I saw there are laws which are allowing to kill, and there is nobody compassionate to talk about, except some of the vegan PET people who wants to talk about that. But again, the veganism is another, which is not something we want to recommend to the people here, because that's not something Krishna told us. So then there is a smuggling involved, because what happens, there is a theft with the farmers, and how it is transported, and then the borders. So the transportation are done in various way through Brahmaputra river in the West Bengal, transferring to Bangladesh. Then there are luxury bus where all seats are removed, and they place all the cows and they transport it that way. Then they transport through the border lines. There's, we call Gau Tashkari in the Hindi, but that happens. There are so many videos to watch in the YouTube to find out like how this smuggling happens around the we have roughly 4,000 something kilometer, and the Bangladesh gets, so the whatever the pricing gets higher there when it goes to Bangladesh and Pakistan and other border areas. So, and then what lately according to Islamism, there is something they follow Sharia law. So they have a halala certification, which means the halala certification is only on their some of the slaughter products. But what has happened lately, that the halala is being certified even in our dairy products and other which gets exported. So we have to be very careful when we buy something, when we are living in the foreign countries, and when we see products, we have to see if it is certified by halala, means we are contributing towards Islamism. And this halala certification is a group of 4 different nations, and that is indirectly has a connection, because there is a revenue generated when we buy from this. And there are mother dairy, Amul and other products which are being used in the market, and it has a stamping of halala, because that's a mandatory, and they have made that relationship to do that mandatory. So even the Hindus or anybody who are there in the overseas who are practicing Krishna consciousness, they may be very careful that they don't end up buying halal certification, because indirectly they are contributing towards the terrorist involvement. And then there are business after for dead bodies. So cows dead bodies is a big business. There are different parts carries a different importance. So I will talk on that too. I have some notes on that too. And then when we speak about the India, we see right now 23% are only vegetarian, and remaining are non-vegetarian, means they consume all kind of meats and meat products and all those things. So that many. even though Hindu does not sanction much, but there is a confusion. We will talk in the religious aspect of it, of
Prabhuji,
those things.
excuse 1 second, Prabhuji. How much longer do you think you have for the presentation?
I'm there till right now 6 points, and I have to go all the way till 16 points. So
So maybe we can break here and continue in the next, because we went, or are you thinking of a particular point where you want to stop?
um yeah yeah, let me finish this one more point, because probably it is in relationship, if it is okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead.
So Gujarat itself has a 12,000 crore business on the dead body. That was only thing I was able to find, but there are much much more towards it. India, by law, I found out that probably they have 3 crore 35 lakhs 40,000 cow grazing land, which means uh, there should be at least that freedom for cows to eat food and do graze freely, which Krishna prescribed. Uh, but it looks to me that there is no clarity on this, and there is a lot of illegal occupants on that one. So meaning the cattle grazing land has been illegally occupied by Vidharmis and others, or corrupt peoples in the society. So cows are not getting their land according to Manusmriti. So that's going to create a problem for not having the food enough for them. That will keep the cost up, and people cannot do their dharma and practice properly. So that one thing is also there. We cannot even file the litigation because we don't have any data towards it. So I cannot file the PIL or against this or anything like that. That this is against the ethics and our religion. There is no data to prove, because no clarity on the documentation, which is illegal, which is legal. Nobody is saying which these are the land dedicated for cow grazing. So that one thing. Yeah, Mataji, I would like to stop. Thank you for allowing me. Mataji. If anybody wants to ask, that I can tell what I know.
Yeah, so if devotees, if you have any questions, we can just open it up for discussion on what Prabhuji presented. Uh, just from my side, 1 second, Prabhuji, let me just, from my side, thank you so much for all the research that you have done. You have told us the situation. Your research is about what's going on in the world today, specifically in India, about cow protection. What is the pathetic condition?
Mm.
So the problems are brought up.
Yes.
And, you talked about various things. First of all, you started with, 1 second, I took some notes. You started off with the importance of cows according to the scriptures. And then how this cow milk is very important. What is the connection between cow protection and the goal of life? The goal of life is, we want to develop love of Krishna. We want to surrender to Krishna. Cows are very dear to Krishna. For a devotees, we need to worship cows. We need to serve cows because cows are devotees. They are very dear to Krishna. Apart from that, even to do our various yagyas, we need cow ghee. So that's the significance, that's the importance of cows. But how the cows have been exploited since, going back in history when India is invaded. Then also you told us about the types of milk. What is the effect of taking milk which is coming from a mixed breed and milk which is coming from a purebred desi cow? how the milk from desi cow is in the mode of goodness, and milk which is gotten from mixed breed is actually in the modes of passion and ignorance. So that way it's not actually helping us in our goal. It's keeping us in the modes of passion. Then we dealt with the cruelty. You explained about the cruelty to cows, how the bulls are mistreated by artificial insemination, extracting semen from them, and after that how they are sent to slaughterhouses and then put out on streets, and the dangers, how they just eat plastic and different things. 70 kilos of plastic is found in their bodies, and they meet with accidents, and how they're even attacked with acid attacks, etc., and eventually even sent to slaughterhouses. So cows that are so important to us, how badly they're being mistreated and exploited. Then you told us about the reasons why people are doing this. They say, those who are actually, also how originally keeping cows was actually a relationship for the family. Cows were treated like a family member, but then it's turned into an industry, and that's where all this exploitation has started. Uh, then also you saw the need, what do we need to maintain cows? Why they're resorting to these type of, actually, what, all the things that you said, they're pointing to the greed, right? Man's greed. What is lacking here is uh, they're not following dharma. That's the thing, right? First of all, they have to made aware. Being in the mode of passion and ignorance, again, coming back to our, when you're a vikarmi, what you're doing is you have no respect for what is said in Shastras. You don't accept Shastras, isn't it? So the problems are brought up. What is the solution? You even said, see, we are trying to work our way through this system. That's also important. You said that we cannot even file a case against what's going on because you don't have enough documentation. So there's no way you're even able to do some justice to the cows with this current situation. So what is the solution to this problem? How can we actually save the cows, and how can we save this situation? Again, it comes back to Srila Prabhupada's answer. Krishna consciousness is the only solution. Krishna consciousness, and how do we do this Krishna consciousness? We should have our own communities. It has to start with devotees. Devotees start their communities, and then it should spread to the whole world. And then you can protect the cows in the whole world also. But first we have to start, because you're not able to go and solve. We need a king to do that. You need a Kshatriya king who can actually control, like Parikshit Maharaj. He stopped Kali. So now this is awareness. This is very good. And next week we will have Prabhuji will continue. I think he's covered less than half of what he wanted to present. The remaining part, at least half, he will be presenting in the next session on his research. But yeah, so what we want is bring an awareness amongst devotees of what is happening in the world, and don't just go blindly, just going to the supermarket and buying the foods. You saw about the products. There is halal certification. Even without knowing, we are thinking we are buying, cow products. We are getting ghee, or we are getting some milk sweets or something. But you don't know how unknowingly you're getting implicated in that sinful activity. But if we had our own community, devotee community, where the cows are, honored and protected with love, and happily they are giving milk after taking care of the calves, and that milk you make sweets and you offer to Krishna, and that prasadam devotees are getting, there is certainly, you will see the difference in consciousness. When you're involved in sinful activity, what will be your consciousness? That is going to it's going to act against our Krishna consciousness. On one hand, we are trying to chant, and on the other hand, we are eating these foodstuffs. Unknowingly, we are becoming implicated. So yes, I really thank Prabhuji for, he has put in a lot of effort to do this research. Thank you so much. And I encourage everyone to please, whatever, apart, whatever work you're doing, please take some time out to do some research in different fields for us to start our own community. We need cow protection is one aspect. There is agriculture, there is Ayurveda. When we live in a community, there will be some diseases, some sicknesses, that treatment has to be there. There will be children, they have to be trained. We need Gurukula. So how to start a Gurukula? So do some research on all these things. Whatever we need for devotees to come and live in a community. And also we need protection. Like we see how people from, the terrorists, they come and attack devotee communities, destroying the deities and the temples. Peacefully we are practicing Krishna consciousness and they come and attack. So for that you need Kshatriyas also to protect our community. That research has to be done. We have enough material in Arthashastra like that. So please take this seriously while practicing Krishna consciousness, chanting your rounds and practicing Krishna consciousness. Take some time out from your schedule to do some research like Prabhuji did, and then gather that information and come and share here on the group. And then that's how we form our Varnasrama research teams. And then the next stage after this will be an actual Varnasrama college, as Srila Prabhupada is saying. When then we have enough material. Varnasrama college means you'll have a classroom. So whoever has done this research, that person will become a teacher. That person will teach in that particular area. First of all, awareness, but after that, solution also. Right? What are the skills needed? How do you actually take care of cows in your community? How to, you recognize the breeds and, everything. Taking care, like you said, it is an 8 to 10 hour job per day to take care of a cow. So what all do we have to do? How to take care of the cows? So all that complete research will be done, and that will be taught as a course in Varnasrama college. Like that, like this, we will have various departments, and that will be a college. And the students will be our community members, and even the larger community outside also. We will invite them. It's an open college. They can come and they can learn, and they can actually start their own communities. And in this way, we can actually move towards this Daiva Varnashrama. So does anyone have any comments or questions, please? Okay, I think they're soaking it in for now, but I really appreciate Kalpesh Prabhu. So we will end our session here. So we will continue next Saturday again with the same topic, the same chapter. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai. Hare Krishna.